Hello, welcome to Off the Record podcast. I'm your host today, Eli Detter. I will be doing the solo. My co-host Steven Pitts is not here today. He is doing some fun stuff down in Philly. He'll be here today, there today, and tomorrow. But it's just me today. So sorry, that was a little really loud. So some of you all probably saw my post yesterday. Said we're going to talk about food. Obviously Thanksgiving just happened. Thanksgiving is a day of eating food. Day of consuming all those nice couple thousand calories for lunch and dinner. Um, and yeah, so I actually made my family's Thanksgiving dinner. We had some turkey. We had some. Um, we didn't get like a full turkey. We got like a smaller. We got like a 3 turkey legs and a turkey breast, a couple of turkey breasts, but it was really good. I make some cornbread stuffing. I actually love cornbread stuffing. I eat most of it. It's my favorite thing in the world. Um, but yeah, food is kind of like my therapy. I love food. It's like the best. Like I don't know. I always have food. I'm always eating. I'm always hungry. I'm always looking for something to eat, even when I'm not hungry. It's just like a thing of mine. I can't stop myself from being hungry. So food's just kind of this thing. So Thanksgiving's a good holiday for that. Christmas also, because you eat a lot of food on Christmas, man. Um, but actually, what I wanted to talk to y'all today was the most popular foods, like snack food, or the most popular foods and cuisines in the world. I actually was researching this yesterday, and it's actually pretty surprising. Some of them are pretty surprising. Some of them are kind of obvious. Um, just to see what before we go into what the best snacks that the population has chosen, I'm gonna go through my favorite snacks. My favorite snack ever to eat is honestly, I have these little Ritz, not Ritz. They're called Lance crackers, peanut butter crackers. They're like the orange crackers with the peanut butter in them. Those are great. They're a nice little bit of protein, some carbs, a little bit of sugar, just get you kick started, right? They're a great snack. I eat one like every day during second period. I eat one every single day. Um, Any of y'all in my math class probably see me doing that. I don't know why I do. I just kind of so yummy. But so yeah, honestly, yeah, peanut butter crackers are definitely my favorite. But I searched it up, and it said that I searched up the top 5 snack foods of all time, and it said the top snack food currently is Doritos. But specifically for Doritos, it is nacho cheese Doritos are considered to be the best and most popular flavor of Doritos. Um, and that is just kind of that was just chosen. I was like, that's a little odd. I wasn't expecting Doritos to be at the top of the list. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting to see Doritos. Coming at number 2, we have double stuff Oreos. Um, well, Oreos are number 2, and I said double stuff specifically because let's get real. No one eats anything other than double stuff or mega stuff. Don't really eat Oreos that much, but when I do enjoy double stuff. Coming at number 3, we got Pringles. That one's a little. That one I feel like is a little controversial, actually. The Pringles. I haven't eaten a Pringle in a very long time. I haven't really seen people eating Pringles for in a while. So the Pringles one is a little odd. I mean, and then number 4, Reese's peanut butter cups. This one is weird because this one's not really snack food. It's a candy. I'm surprised that they had candy as a top snack food of all time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love myself a Reese's peanut butter cup, but Reese's peanut butter cup is not like. Uh, I mean that's candy. That's not a snack. I don't know. Hey, it's you do you. Number 5 is goldfish. I actually expected goldfish to be like number 2 or something like that. Because like goldfish is classic. Goldfish is a classic food. I love goldfish. I love extra cheddar goldfish. Um, I love pizza flavored goldfish. Those are good too. I'm surprised Cheez-Its weren't even on here. But like, I feel like Cheez-Its could have taken the place of Reese's peanut butter cups and something like that. But hey, To each their own. um, now that we have favorites, least favorites is also an interesting one. I definitely have snack foods that I don't like that other people eat and I don't, but it's just like I don't know. I don't really have any off the top of my head, but there's like yeah, I don't know. It's also depends on what people consider a snack too. Because some people consider a snack to be like I mean, some people snack or is like a half a dinner. It's like, oh wow, that's your snack. I thought you meant like a bowl of crackers or a bowl of pretzels or something like that. But you know what? Can't blame the person. Hold up, we're gonna go and pause for a real sec. All right, we're back. Sorry, I had to figure something out on my recording board. Um, but no, some people's like definition of snack is a lot different from what I would define a snack. I define a snack as something you can eat in like 2 to 3 minutes. It's not. It's like low, not not heavily caloried. It's got enough. It's got a little bit of sugar in it, a little bit of something salt, something savory, just to keep you kind of give you a kick, keep you going through the day. Um, that's what I consider a snack. And then I wanted to talk about what like people's favorite like cuisine is, like the world's best cuisine. And actually, these might be a little less surprising than the snack choices were, just because some of them are kind of obvious. I looked for the top three cuisines. At number three, the number three is French food. Is considered, I guess, the third best cuisine in the world. And I actually found this on the CNN website. Someone must have done a review, and they have some really funny descriptions for these. So I'm going to read them off. Escargot, which is a snail, they said credit the French for turning slimy garden-dwelling pests into a delicacy. Massive respect for making them taste amazing too. Macarons are kind of like those like weird little sandwiches where it's like you have the top, then you have the little sugary filling, kind of jelly filling in the bottom. And it said, like unicorn food, in fact, anything from a patisserie in France seems to have been conjured out of sugar, fairy dust, and the dinner wishes of little girls. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean. But moving on, then they have the baguette, which is that really long, common French breadstick. And it says, the first and last thing you'll want to eat in France. The first bite is transformational, and the last will be full of longing. I'm not like I said. I don't really understand that one. That one's weird. um, but yeah, and so that's France's number is number three for the top three cuisines in the world, which is really interesting. I wasn't even thinking about French food. I've actually never eaten like I've never gone to like a French restaurant and gotten French food. I've had a baguette, sure, everyone's had a baguette. I've not had escargot, but I have had a macaron. Macarons are very good. I used to get them confused with macaroons. Macaroons and macarons are very different things, which I learned. Macaroons are coconut and flour, and they're like coconut bread, kind of like coconut biscuits kind of thing. Macarons are obviously not coconut biscuits, so very different. Number two, Chinese food. And this is talking about actual Chinese food, not what everyone calls Chinese food, which is really Asian food. Yeah, not what people call uh, not going to an Asian restaurant and getting whatever they're calling it Chinese, like legitimate Chinese food, such as sweet and sour pork, which CNN said a guilty pleasure that has taken on different forms. That one is true. Sweet and sour pork, I think, is a definitely guilty pleasure for those who eat it. Then the next one is dim sum. It said a grand tradition from Hong Kong to New York. Roast, not again. I actually don't exactly know what dim sum is. Maybe I'll have to search it up later. The other one's a roast suckling pig and Peking duck. Peking duck. I think it's Peking or Peking. I have no idea. Someone can correct me on that. Wonders of different styles of ovens adopted by Chinese chefs because they're different. They're cooked in not the same type of oven that we would cook everything. This next one is a mouthful. I think it's correct. I apologize if I offend anyone with the way I say this, but I believe it is Zhao Long Bao. It's like a pretty sure it's like a dumpling soup. Um, that's cooked in a I think it's cooked in the same kind of container that's named after. And it said, "Incredible soup filled surprise. How did you get all that dumpling skin to hold all that hot broth?" Well, I don't know. Chinese food not would not be considered on my number two list for my favorite cuisines. I will let you know what those are later. But here is something I don't know if this will surprise you or not. But the number one cuisine in the world supposedly is Italian food. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of our common food does come from Italian. I mean, mac and cheese, pizza, spaghetti, pasta, all that stuff. That's all Italian stuff, right? So if you think about it, it can't be too surprising. But at the same time, I'm not. I was a little unsure when I saw that. Start with spaghetti bolognese. The Italian name's something really different. It's like ragu alla bolognese. I don't feel like having to say that. The world's go-to can't decide what to have food. Pizza, mind-bogglingly yet simple yet satisfying dish. A staple diet of bachelors and college students. Then the third one is Italian-style salami, second only to cigarettes as a source of addiction. And the last one, coffee. Cappuccinos for breakfast, forget it. We want it all day and all night. Personally, I am not a huge coffee lover. I will drink my cup of coffee, but I am not like I'm not like one of those drink coffee in the middle of the summer kind of people, or drink coffee in the middle of a hot summer day kind of people. I could never do that. That would absolutely destroy. That would destroy me. I could not do that. Um, Dang, it sucks not having Steven here, man. That means he's awesome. Like bounce your ideas off of. He has such great remarks. But hey, you know what? He'll be back hopefully by the end of this week. He'll be back this week. But yeah, so Italian, Chinese, and French food are the top three cuisines like in the world. Not too surprising, but I'm surprised like South American or like Mexican or any of that stuff. Caribbean food was not on that list because I've heard that stuff is really really good. I really want to try and make some Creole food. It's I think people call it soul food too. I really want to try and make that. I was actually born in the Caribbean, Haiti. It's right smack dab in the Caribbean, Speaking of Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, first of all, the name itself is a little controversial. I say Pirates of the Caribbean. Sometimes I'll say Pirates of the Caribbean. Depends on what context I'm like saying it in, and I can't really tell you what the context are. It's just it depends. When the time is right, I'll say Pirates of the Caribbean, and when the time is right, I'll say Pirates of the Caribbean. Just it just depends. But I love those movies. I mean, Johnny Depp was awesome in those movies. He was hysterical. I was kind of terrified by that, by Davy Jones, the dude with um, the dude with like the tentacles in space, the octopus space. I hated that guy. That guy was terrifying. He gave me nightmares. Luckily, those nightmares have gone away. Thank you very much. But yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean. That was. I'm not sure what I said Caribbean for some reason that popped into my head here. Um, but enough about. I know it said this would be about food, but enough about food. Let's talk about some recent events. You know what I did on Saturday night is I sat down in my room and I was watching the recent. I was watching a WWE event. I was watching WWE Survivor Series. Now I know there are a lot of people don't like WWE because they say it's fake wrestling and it's not real and all that stuff. To those people, I say screw you. I love wrestling and I'm not ashamed of it. It's so fun to watch wrestling just because you know, especially if you like learn the history and stuff like that. That adds a different little element to it because it's not like you're just watching people pretend to do stuff. You're watching people pretend to do stuff, like pretend to like get injured and stuff like that, or pretend to hate each other. But it's like it's part of the story. It's part of how wrestling works. And for that reason, I love wrestling. I only started watching wrestling in the middle of COVID. I kind of started watching it actually. I was scrolling through Fox Sports and I saw this thing wrestling. I saw it said Money in the Bank something, and I watched it and I was like, "What the heck's going on? Why are people like throwing themselves off of a balcony onto a bunch of other people. Like, it made no sense. Also, granted, I started watching it in COVID, so I was watching COVID WWE, which was a lot different. If any of you watched WWE, it was so much different. So I didn't like it nearly as much. Um, so I started looking at it. And I started looking at, like, old matches and stuff like that, like 2002, 1996 matches, and then I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I kind of I kind of leaned more towards the high flying, really quick characters such as Rey Mysterio. Evan Bourne was just awesome. Ricochet now. I love the high flying, the fast pace, the over the top rope, all that fun stuff. Like, that stuff is like the part of WWE that I love the most, is the acrobatics. Honestly, it's so impressive because you're just like, how the heck are they doing that? And you're like, oh man, I wish I could do that. But that's the part of WWE that I really like. I like there's definite skills. Like, it might be something that is quote unquote fake, right? I'm not saying it's fake, but I'm saying quote unquote people can call it fake, right? But what you can't do is you can't say, um, like, you can't look at WWE and stuff and be like, oh, those people have no skill. Those people have a tremendous amount of skill. I mean, they're throwing themselves off the top of like 20-foot steel cage onto another person's body through a table. I mean, that stuff is insane. Stuff takes an insane amount of skill, and it's like, what, like, it's kind of crazy, Um, stuff is just wild. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I'm impressed. Like, I could never do this kind of stuff. Like, I would love to become a WWE wrestler, but then I'd have to start wrestling. I'd have to work out a whole lot of other probably medical issues. But there's like so much stuff. Um, but like, I don't know. But anyways, I was watching wrestling, and it was a big wrestling weekend because it was Survivor Series, and everyone wanted Randy Orton and CM Punk to come back, and they did, and it was great. And I cheered, and I was watching from my room on my laptop, and I was cheering, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" I was on Instagram at the same time looking at all the updates pouring through, and it was great. It was awesome. I loved it. Um, but honestly, like, if I could get into the world of, like, wrestling and WWE, even if I didn't become a wrestler, even if I didn't like, do wrestling stuff, I think I could still be like, I think I could find something, whether it was like commentating or stuff like that, um, or stuff like I think I could be pretty good. I have honestly always wanted to become, like, recently I've been looking into journalism. I think journalism would be really fun. Um, but yeah, like, I don't know. WWE is like a crazy world because it gets so, like, complicated, and you see all this stuff about WWE wrestlers' problems and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't, I don't, I don't want to be. I don't know. I don't really know what to say here. Like, I want to be, like, WWE would be kind of a fun thing to do, but then again, there's a whole lot of stuff that comes with all that. Like, not all WWE wrestlers are, all big and glamorous and stuff like that and have great successful careers. Some of them aren't able to get their, head start, aren't able to hit the ground running with that stuff. And it's just a sad reality, but it's true. Um, but that would be a really cool thing to do. I would love that. I think that would be really fun. um, Gosh, like I said, it's really quiet when you're in here by yourself doing all this stuff, and you don't have Stephen Down in. Sorry, why did I say Stephen Down in here? Yeah, I'll call you out, buddy. I'll mention you. Free Stephen Down. Anyways, it's great when you don't have Stephen Pitts and you're not making fun of me for all the stupid stuff I'm saying, or stopping me from saying stupid stuff. But he's not here, so I'm gonna say all the stupid stuff I want. Um. So actually, I wanted to give a little announcement. So for the next month, starting Saturday, I will be in North Carolina. I will not be in PA. That will be in North Carolina. Um, this podcast will still be run. We will still be doing this podcast. I have no plans, no intentions to stop it, ever. I'm gonna try and keep it going as long as I can. Maybe I have a different podcasting partner next year with Stephen Lee's, or maybe we keep doing it and we figure it out. But we would be doing this podcast for the next month while I'm down in North Carolina. What will happen is we won't be using this account to do the lives. All the lives will be streamed off of the Off the Record Podcast 23 account. So if y'all aren't following that, be sure to search it up, follow it. Links are in my bio as well. Also be sure to follow the Hempfield newspaper. We need more awareness that that's actually a thing. I've been trying to do my best. I've been writing a couple articles. I think I have 4 or 5 in there. We have a couple more running in. Just be sure to follow that stuff up. Support this podcast. Support me. Support Steven. Support all this stuff. I know we're 2 high school guys, but I don't think that means we can make a real impact with this kind of stuff. I truly believe that with the right tools, with the right people, you can make a really cool impact and do some really good stuff. I'm not going to name any names, but I actually got a text today on Snapchat, and it was this dude who I talked to a while ago, and he talked to him about. He asked me, "Hey Eli, how do I like get ripped and get buff and stuff like that?" I was like, "Okay, man, you just you work out right, you eat the right stuff, you don't you don't overeat, but you also don't starve yourself, eat the right amount." I gave him. So I was like, dude, if you're starting cold turkey, don't start doing weights. I would say start doing like body weight calisthenics. That will build definition. That will build a good muscle base, so that if you start lifting weights, you have something to build on, and you don't have kind of like a disformed muscle kind of stuff. And he texted me today. He was like, dude, I listened to your podcast, man. It's really great. It's really inspiring. I couldn't stop listening to it. And I was like, that's awesome, man. And then he was like, hey, I've been taking this lifting workout stuff seriously, and it's been going really good. And I was like, that's fantastic, dude. Keep doing that stuff. And if that guy's listening to this podcast, man, I'm proud of you. You've been doing great. He showed me a picture, and this dude was just looking awesome. I mean, he was not. I mean, this is no skinny dude. This dude was looking great. But I think it just goes to show you, honestly, you can. I have the ability. I mean, this is a public platform that anyone in the world can search up and look at. This is not just a Instagram live with a couple people on it. This is not just me in a room recording stuff. This is something that I can share with as many people as I want. I mean, right now I have a couple thousand people who see my stuff all the time. I can post one thing, 4.3 thousand views on it. Perfect. I mean, that's 4,000 people who just saw this podcast, just saw my video, and maybe they'll follow me, maybe they won't, but they'll at least look at it. And the truth is, honestly, that's where it starts. It starts with someone saying, I want to make something that can make a difference, that can make an impact, so I'm going to do it. This podcast it's not a gossip podcast. It is not a let's make fun of that person podcast. This is not a let's talk about crime podcast. This is a podcast where if someone wants to promote something good that they're doing, promote their sport, promote their business, we can have them on here and they can reach an audience. I mean, we're on Spotify. I mean, that is a couple billion people in the world who can search that stuff up and see that. And when you look at all that stuff's kind of, I mean, it gives you really good perspective in that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm getting really heated, but it's just like, you can't walk into something, half-assed and be like, oh, this is going to work. You gotta be fully in it in order for it to work. I think that was kind of my really thinking, and like, we can make this podcast and make it really work, But I actually, yesterday, I came into the studio, sat down, had some tracks, and I recorded 3 motivationals. These are just short little 2 to 3 minute clips It's just some motivational advice. One was released yesterday. Be the best you can. It's just talking about how you can. Sometimes you can only be as good as you're able to be. Sometimes the best is not always what you need to look for. You don't always got to be the best. You can sometimes be just the best that you can do. And some people kind of get too caught up in like, oh, I want to be the best. And the reality is, you will not always be the best. You may never be, you will never be perfect at something. There will always be something that you could do better, something that you're not doing. There will always be someone who comes along who can do this specific thing better than you. Um, it's just important to realize that. But I will be one will be uploaded tomorrow, and then another one on Friday. And what we're gonna do is every day that there is not a podcast, we will release one of these videos, one of these like little clips. You can listen to them, share them. Like when you just listen to don't like skip it. Don't like, fast forward through it. You gotta listen to every part of it. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. The more support and stuff that we get in this, the better kind of content we can make. So that instead of it just being an Instagram live on my Instagram page, it's, something really big. Instead of 68 followers on Instagram, it's a couple hundred, couple thousand, just because I want to get my messages out. I want to get my word out. I want to show people, hey, I want to do good stuff. I don't want to get famous because, like, I don't want to do good things to be famous, but I guess I want to kind of show people that I'm doing something with a platform that I created for myself. Well, that was created, and I took good advantage of it. I took into my own hands and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make something good out of it, But yeah, I think it's a really cool thing that this podcast is a thing. People reference it to me. It's awesome. I love it. I think it was a really good stress reliever for me because I could make so many. I had so many ideas for it, and I can make those ideas come true. Maybe we can get. That would be awesome if we could get like a professional athlete on here. That would be crazy. But I mean, maybe once I graduated, that would be could be a real possibility, and that would be awesome. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up here. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for thank you all for the support. Let's not let this podcast go to waste. I really want to do some cool stuff with this. Really want to make some powerful impacts because you truly can make a great impact on people. So before we go, just want to say, you can always follow the podcast at Off the Record Podcast 23 on Instagram. On YouTube, it's the same thing, but instead of 23, it's 25. Actually, no, sorry, scratch that. Just follow my YouTube page, Eli Detter. It's just Eli Detter. All links are in my bio. Feel free to check that out as well for our Spotify and our iHeartRadio, which is a really interesting thing that I found I could do that. But we are on iHeartRadio, we are on Spotify, we are on YouTube, and obviously we are here live on Instagram. A little quote for you guys. Oh, sorry, you can follow Steven at Steven_Pitts40. Mine is always obviously at Eli_Y102. Little quote, funny little motivational quote for you guys by Will Rogers. Even if you're on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. Basically, that's saying, move your ass, get to work, get a kicking. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Till next time, this is Eli Detter going off the record.